Like an MGM swashbuckler, the Knights take on the Pirates next on Quiz Kids.
It's the Bay Area Quiz Kids. Brought to you by the San Mateo Credit Union. And now, the best host on the West Coast, Brad Friedman.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to a round of Quiz Kids. In fact, we are about to start our quarter-final round. So we bring back two great teams. Let me introduce them to you now. First, the Hillsdale Knights. And they are taking on the San Leandro Pirates. Welcome, teams. Let's get right into our first three-for-all round, where the point values are 5, 10, and 25 points. Here's your first toss-up. This literary king divides his kingdom among his daughters, only to learn that Goneril and Regan despise him. Name the Shakespearean king who disinherits the only... Yes, Lydia?
King Lear.
That's right. Which third daughter of Lear was the only daughter who loves him?
No answer.
It was Cordelia. Next toss-up. The first female dean of the Harvard Law School was what former Solicitor General? Yes, Virgil.
Elena Kagan.
Correct. Which associate justice was nominated in May 2009 to replace David Souter?
Sotomayor.
Yes, Sonia Sotomayor. And finally, in early 2006, there was a rare double vacancy on the Supreme Court. Whom did George W. Bush nominate as the successor to Sandra Day O'Connor after shifting John Roberts' nomination to Chief Justice?
Samuel Alito.
You got 25 points. It's the world's highest commercially navigable lake. The Strait of Tequina connects sections of what lake on the Peru-Bolivia border? Jeremy.
Titicaca.
Right. The Caribbean bull shark's tolerance of fresh water allowed it to move up the San Juan River to what largest Central American lake?
The one in Panama.
Lake Nicaragua?
Go ahead, try that one.
Lake Nicaragua?
Yes. Cavimas is a port on what lake connected to the Gulf of Venezuela via the Tablazo Strait?
What do they want?
The lake.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I know.
No answer?
It's a Lake Maracaibo. All right, next toss-up. The Pastry War resulted in a wound for what self-styled Napoleon of the West? A Mexican leader? Yes, Kirill.
James K. Polk.
No, I'm sorry. It's a Mexican leader who marched to suppress the Texas Revolution.
Yeah.
Santa Anna.
Correct. The Mexicans laid siege to Jim Bowie and William Travis, finally killing everyone at what San Antonio landmark?
Alamo. The Alamo.
Yes. The Texans got their revenge, capturing Santa Anna and forcing him to accept Texan independence. At what battle where they shouted, "Remember the Alamo"?
Battle of San Jacinto.
That is it for 25 points. Batrachologists specialize in the study of which class of cold-blooded fauna, superficially similar to reptiles, that includes frogs? Kirill.
Amphibians?
Yes. What's the common name of about 500 species of the amphibian order Chordata, characterized by slender bodies and the ability to regenerate limbs and other lost body parts?
Is it lizards or salamanders?
Salamanders?
Right. Which order of limbless amphibians resembling worms or snakes take their name from the Latin for blind, as they have either tiny or non-existent eyes?
I don't know.
Chordata?
Sicilians. What founder of the Academy and College of... Yes, Jake.
Plato?
No. What founder of the Academy and College of Philadelphia, later part of the University of Pennsylvania, also wrote Poor Richard's Almanac?
Ben Franklin. Yeah. Benjamin Franklin.
Yes. He never saw the school, but it was later renamed for him. Which shipping magnate provided the funding for Nashville Central University?
Vanderbilt.
Correct. The University of Chicago received $80 million in startup funding from which businessman whose foundation also funded the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health?
Carnegie. Carnegie.
John D. Rockefeller.
Right.
This Republican presidential candidate is the son of an auto executive who governed the state of Michigan. Yes, Jeremy.
Romney.
Right. Aside from Romney, this is the other repeat candidate in the Republican field. He also ran in 2008 and was once the presidential nominee of the Libertarian Party in 1988.
Ron Paul.
Right. This Republican hopeful considered running in 1996, but decided to remain Speaker of the House. Name this firebrand from Georgia.
Gingrich.
You got 25 points. In a scalene triangle, all sides are unequal. What term describes triangles whose sides are all congruent? Kirill.
Equilateral.
In what type of polygon does every diagonal lie entirely within the polygon?
I think it's a parallel, trapezoid or parallelogram.
Trapezoid.
No, it's a convex polygon.
Okay.
Yes. A philosophical method of breaking a problem down into questions is named for this ancient Greek. Whose views and methods are preserved? Yes, Jake.
Socrates.
That is right. In what longest dialogue did Plato set out Socrates' vision of an ideal state with a superior government?
The Republic.
Yes, so now you like Plato, right?
Yeah.
In which work did Socrates unsuccessfully defend himself against charges of corrupting the youth, for which he was sentenced to death?
No answer.
It's the Apologia. That gives you 10 points, and the score is 65-60, and we'll be right back after these commercial messages.
And now it's time to meet the Quiz Kids. Once again, here's Brad.
Welcome back to a very close game. Let's say hi to the Hillsdale Knights and Jeremy Kirshner. You can have your football, you can have your basketball, you can have your baseball. It's badminton season at Hillsdale High, and you're on the team.
Yeah, so I play boys doubles, and we just
Didn't
got
know there was a doubles badminton. Is it really?
Yeah. And we got a new coach this year, so we're looking to make a turnaround from last year.
Was last year a poor season for you?
We went 4-10. It was our best season in a long time.
We will hope for better things from the badminton team. Jake Stone, you are, of course we know, an inveterate chef. Your mother makes you do all the cooking at home, and you wanted to share something important with us.
Okay, so with Brussels sprouts, a lot of people don't like them, but they can be really good. All you need to do is quarter them and mix them with garlic powder, salt, pepper, and olive oil, and roast them for 15 minutes, and put a fried egg on top. It's actually really good.
I do all that except for the egg, you know, because the leaves get all crispy. It's like
Yeah.
wonderful, yes, and they're absolutely no health value anymore, but they're delicious. Kirill Stoimanov. Hey, Kirill, you're going to be in the next play up at Hillsdale, A Midsummer Night's Dream, written by, what's his name?
Billy
Shakespeare. And what are you playing?
I'm playing both Oberon and Theseus.
So you're like the lord of the realm.
Yeah, I rule over both man and fairy.
Fabulous. And when is the show?
It's 7th through the 11th.
Of March.
Yes, of March.
Yes, they want to know which month. Because we will be airing before that, so everyone should head over to Hillsdale High School and see it. Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to give you a chance to earn up to 100 points. I have 7 questions for you in one of many exciting categories. Answer all 7 correctly, and I'll give you a 30-point bonus. Today's categories are, you could go 1961, you could go 12th month, or you could go number 2. Yes, the worst category name we've ever had.
Okay.
Number 2.
You want to go number 2. All right. Just send your bad category names to quizkids.tv, and we'll make it into a contest. I may even announce some of these things if they're possible to say on television. Populous cities, right? Populous cities. What is the country's second most populous city? Okay? I'm going to say this city, and you tell me the country. It's the second most populous city. That took way too long. Number 1, Barcelona.
Spain.
Right. Yokohama.
Yeah. Japan.
Yes.
Okay.
Ankara.
That's Cambodia.
Yeah.
Cambodia.
No, Turkey. We are not learning geography here. Mushad. Mushad.
Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia.
Iran.
Oh.
Rabat.
Oh, Morocco. Morocco.
Cork.
Afghanistan.
County Cork in Ireland, my lad.
Oh.
And finally, Alexandria.
Egypt.
Yes! And you earned some points. Congratulations. Let's say hi to the geography champions of California. No, the San Leandro Pirates. Jessica Trin, you know, a lot of kids in high school take the time to form a rock band. You're going in a slightly different direction. What are you doing?
I'm doing a classical quintet with like five of my other friends, actually.
Yes, a classical quintet with 5 of your quintet, which is 6 people. So we're not the math champs.
We don't want to be called a sextet for some reasons.
Okay. So 6 people in a quintet.
Yes.
And it's classical, so you're available for bar mitzvahs and weddings and anything, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Fantastic. Lydia Scharf, you want to take part in a program this summer called Cosmos through UC, right? What is Cosmos?
Cosmos is you spend a month at one of the UC campuses studying a subject in math or science. I'm particularly looking at one that involves engineering and physics.
Well, I hope that works out for you. It sounds like a very exciting program. Virgil Marinas, you take a business class. You've talked about this on the show before, and you're involved in some interesting projects right now. What are you doing?
Yeah, we're involved in the most important project of the year. We're developing our business plans. And
what is the business that you're trying to form here?
You'll find out later on.
If you win. And that depends on what category you pick and how well you answer the questions. 1961 or 12th month?
1961.
1961. These are 1961 headlines. So name the people who made headlines in 1961 for the following things, okay? Being the first man in space.
Yuri Gagarin.
Right. Being the first American in space.
John Glenn.
Alan Shepard. Taking office as U.S. president.
Kennedy.
Yes. Killing himself 10 years after writing The Old Man and the Sea.
Hemingway.
Hemingway.
Wait.
Supporting Algerian independence as president of France.
De Gaulle.
Correct. Writing Catch-22.
Joseph Heller.
And finally, hitting 61 home runs for the Yankees.
DiMaggio.
No, it was Roger Maris, but you earned 50 points. Congratulations, 115 to 100. We'll go away for a couple minutes and be right back.
And now we're back with the second half of Quiz Kids. Take it away, Brad.
We're back, and we'd like to give a big round of thanks for our coaches for both teams. First from Hillsdale, Mr. Ethan Stewart and Mr. Chris Stallings. And from San Leandro, Mr. Mark Gordon. All right, teams, it's back to the 3-for-all. And the point values this time are 10, 25, and 50 points. Good luck to both teams. Here is your first toss-up. It is most often measured on the Pauling scale. Name this attraction of elements for electrons in a chemical Kirill.
Electronegativity.
Right. Relatively small differences in electronegativity result in this type of bond in which electrons are considered to be shared between atoms.
Defer.
It's covalent.
Right. If the electronegativity difference is not 0, then the bond will have this separation of positive and negative charges.
It's either ionic or polar. I think it's
Polar, I think.
Polar? May I accept that? Polar? Polarity? Polarity is right. You got 50 points. John and Washington Roebling helped build what bridge that spans the East River and connects Manhattan with another New York Kirill?
The Brooklyn Bridge.
Right. What historic British bridge has been reassembled in Lake Havasu, Arizona?
London Bridge.
London Bridge?
Right. Measured between anchorages, it's the Western Hemisphere's longest suspension bridge. What connects Michigan's upper and lower peninsulas and spans a namesake strait?
Strait of Hormuz.
No. Varenza Bridge?
It's the Mackinac Bridge.
Mackinac.
This composer wrote 2 quintets, one for strings only, with only 5 people, and one for piano and string quartet. Name this Viennese composer better known for his hundreds of songs and his unfinished symphony. Jessica.
Beethoven?
I'm sorry?
Beethoven?
No. You can steal.
Vienna.
It's Viennese.
Bach?
Franz Schubert.
Schubert.
Yes.
Of course, we knew it all along.
In 1999, the International Olympic Committee chose as its athlete of the century the only man with 3 gold medals from soccer's World Cup. Name that player born Edson Arantes. Yes, Virgil.
Pele?
Correct. Pele was from what country whose national team wears gold shirts?
Brazil.
Right. Most of Pele's playing career was spent with a soccer club based in what port city in Sao Paulo state?
Brazil team. I don't. Go.
Rio de Janeiro?
Santos. Ismene is the sister of what princess who breaks Creon's law and buries her sibling? Yes, Kirill.
Ophelia?
No. For which Creon sentences her to death.
Antigone.
Yes. Antigone and her brother Eteocles and Polynices are all genetically messed up because they are the children of Jocasta and whom?
Oedipus.
That's right, their dad. What playwright wrote Antigone to dramatize the struggle of obeying mortal and divine law when they are in opposition?
Sophocles.
You got 50 points. At least 40 deaths were reported in an infectious disease outbreak in Germany in spring 2011. The infection was caused by a strain of which bacterium, normal strains of which inhabit the human gut? Kirill.
E. coli?
Yes. One way being studied to kill disease-causing strains of E. coli is to infect them with members of what class of virus that infects bacteria?
Bacteriophages?
That is right. Some beneficial strains of E. coli produce a form of what vitamin needed for proper blood clotting?
Oh, E? I think it's...
E?
K.
Oh.
What stratovolcano near the Bay of Naples erupted in AD 79? Jake.
Vesuvius.
Bigger and more famous than Herculaneum is what largest of the 3 towns buried? Our best glimpse at Roman life in AD 79.
Pompeii.
This Roman admiral and naturalist was killed by the eruption of Vesuvius.
Pliny the Younger.
No, it was Pliny the Elder.
We always mess that up.
We always mess that up. That's so cute. Do you get that a lot, the Pliny question? Yeah. Sad. This author of Notes on the State of Virginia was accused of a relationship with the slave Sally Hemings. Yes, Lydia.
Jefferson.
Yes, Jefferson also wrote this anti-federalist 1798 resolution named for a Midwestern state founded by colonists from Virginia.
Kentucky Resolution.
One of the targets of the Kentucky Resolution was which act that made it a crime to publish, quote, false, scandalous, and malicious writing against government?
The Sedition Act.
You got 50 points. What Latin word for cloud became the name for interstellar regions of gas like the crab? Yes, Jake.
Nebula.
What spherical cloud of comets surrounds the sun at a distance of about 50,000 astronomical units, far beyond the Kuiper belt?
Oort cloud.
Yes. The uppermost visible clouds on Jupiter's surface form around ice crystals of what compound? Clouds with water ice form below them.
It's methane.
Methane.
No, ammonia.
Oh.
Which TV show features Timothy Hutton as Nate Ford, the leader of a group of con artists who helped the little guy fight back? Kirill.
Mad Men?
No. You can steal. No teenager watches this show, by the way.
No answer.
It's an old lady show, Leverage. And that's the end of the round, 250 to 240. We'll be right back for an exciting final round.
Tournament champions will win an all-expenses-paid trip to Europe, courtesy of ACIS.
It is time for our final countdown round. I will put 3 minutes on the clock. The questions are worth 30 points, 250 to 240. The clock will start when I begin reading the first question. Good luck to both teams. In the 1944 musical Meet Me in St. Louis, her rendition of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas made it an instant holiday favorite. Who was this singer and actress best known for Following the Yellow Brick Road? Virgil.
Judy Garland.
Say again.
Judy Garland.
Am I hearing it correct? Okay. John Bradshaw presided over the trial of what Stuart King, who was beheaded outside Whitehall Palace in 1649? Yes, Lydia.
Charles I.
Right. It flows by Basel, Koblenz, Bonn, and Strasbourg and forms the border between France and Germany. What river empties Jake?
The Rhine.
Right. She was the mother of the original 3 Cyclops, the ugly 100-headed ones, and the Titans. She helped overthrow her consort Uranus. Yes, Lydia.
Gaia.
Right. Delta x times delta p must be at least h over 2 pi expresses what principle embodying the inability to simultaneously measure position and... Yes, Kirill.
Heisenberg's uncertainty principle.
Yes. The main character of this play laments not going to Alaska with his brother Ben in what drama about Fifth? Jeremy.
Death of the Salesman.
Right. Abacook Prickett's diary tells of the mutiny against what captain of the Discovery who sought the Northwest Passage in a Canadian bay now named for him? Virgil.
Hudson?
Right. The Arab Spring has failed to bloom in this nation. Name this... Yes, Jake.
Syria?
Right. The hypochondriac Argan appears in this comic farce, The Imaginary Invalid, who also created the gullible Orgon in his play about a hypocrite called Tartuffe. Kirill.
Moliere.
Right. Mason Verger was killed by what cannibalistic psychiatrist who helped capture Buffalo Bill? Kirill.
Hannibal Lecter.
Yes. September 2011 introduced a t-shirt, jeans, and a cape costume for what superhero whose reboot forgets his red briefs and marriage? Kirill.
Superman.
Right. Murray Gell-Mann and George Zweig proposed what particles with charges of +2 over 3, positive 2/3, and negative 1/3 that bind together in threes to make protons and neutrons? Kirill.
Muons.
No, you can steal.
Quarks?
Yes. What Pacific island, known in Spanish as Isla de Pascua, has its capital at Hangaroa and is known for its moai, or large stone statues? Jeremy.
Easter Island.
Correct. The steamship Star of the West tried to resupply what fort in Charleston Harbor? The site... Yes, Jake.
Fort Sumter?
Right. It is a set of points which are equidistant from a line called the directrix and the focus. Yes, Kirill.
Parabola.
Right. Frank Tripp and Natalie Boavista work for Horatio Kane, who is played by David Caruso on what TV series? Kirill.
24.
No.
Oh.
On what TV series about forensic investigators in Florida?
CSI.
Any more?
Miami.
Correct.
Yeah.
Theodore Beza wrote a biography of what author of the Institutes of the Christian Religion who preached about predestination and Reformation? Kirill.
Calvin.
Correct. Roy Brown was officially credited with shooting down what man? That's the end of the game. 580. Hillsdale is moving on. Thank you to both teams. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Promotional consideration furnished by the Burlingame Scottish Rite, the Knights Templar, Model Compilers, the Bay Area Academic League,